Damn. All right. I don't know what's going on. We're going to do the 30-second countdown and let's get the show rolling. Love y'all. Okay. So I guess that 30-second clip worked. I don't know why it was failing to communicate on YouTube's end with the countdown that I usually use and the intro. So it's going to be a little different today, guys. Well, what's going on? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with Ballard Sports 360. Let me do a test real quick because I know sometimes the audio can get kind of choppy, and I apologize. I want to make sure it's sounding okay. I know sometimes the audio can get kind of choppy, and I apologize. I want to make sure it's sounding okay. Yep, sounds good. Check 1, 2. Okay. Um, what's up? I see you in there, Nate. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. He says, "What's up, Ballard?" I don't have him as a moderator. I thought I had modded Nate the Great, or Third and Nate is his new screen name, his YouTube name. What's up, Dominic? How you doing? Good to see you. So today gonna be kind of a quick show. Want to talk about the Braves. They are on the verge of hitting 100 wins. I think they got 97 right now. So we look at that. We could talk a little bit about teams that have hit the 100 mark, and it has been pretty recent. I mean, even going back to the Braves in 2021, the Braves were able to, well, actually last year. So the Braves won the World Series in 2021. They did not hit 100 wins, but the Dodgers hit over 100 wins that year. The Giants have hit 100. There was no, because of COVID, there wasn't a team in 2020, but hitting 100 wins has become more frequent. I don't know if it's because they've added a lot more games to the schedule. I don't know if it's because the batting and the scoring has just picked up so much, and it's just teams have become dominant in the MLB. It's amazing to see. Now, that being said, when you look at the Braves to 100 wins in 2023, you look at what they've done this year, too. Um, let's go ahead and put this up here. Braves with a win streak can hit 100 wins. They could do that this year in 2023, and they could be successful. They have been successful. They've been a great organization. They've been a great program or team or however you want to put it. On the year, right now, the Atlanta Braves are 96-50. They are 4 games away. And they got to hurry because it's September, and you know what that means. Getting close to October in the postseason. They got to hurry. I would expect, and they could lose, but they probably go on the road here and play the Marlins tonight. They get the victory. They're at 97. They get the victory tomorrow night against the Marlins. They're at 98. Sunday, 99. Monday, they play the Phillies. If they don't lose a game against the Marlins and they win all 3 of those, then they beat the Phillies on Monday, the 18th, and they'll hit 100 wins. Other teams that could hit 100 wins this year, honestly, and I don't say this to like rip on anybody. I think it's the Braves or bust. If you get what I'm saying, you have a lot of great teams out there, like the Dodgers. They lead the West right now. They're at 88 wins. The Milwaukee Brewers, really good team defensively, slugging, really good team. They're at 82. The Braves are the only team that's like within a 10-game radius of trying to hit 100, and they actually have 4 wins to go. Houston leads the AL West at 83 and 64, just above 500. Minnesota leads the Central Division in the American League, 77 wins. That's pretty good. 91 for Baltimore and Tampa. If they do a win streak, I mean, I guess they could, but I think it's obvious that the Braves are going to be the team that's going to hit 100 before anybody else. Question is, can a win streak help the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles, who are tied at 91 wins? Can Tampa get back atop the East? It's been a little while, but on a win streak of 2, and also what's kind of helped them out, Baltimore has lost their last 3. Both of those teams have greater than 100% chance to make the playoffs. They have had good defense. They've had some good offense. They've struggled a little bit, but it is what it is. I mean, you look at it like it's there's a lot to. Let me do this out there real quick. We'll get back to baseball. Hold on. I want to share this out. Okay. Make sure we got a few people watching today. I appreciate it. But again, you have teams like Tampa, teams like Baltimore, teams like Atlanta, all these big name cities with baseball teams. There's a lot of teams out there. I know it's been the Braves at the top of the league for quite a while this season, but it's not just them that's on the verge of hitting 100 wins. I mean, like I said, you look at Baltimore and Tampa, they're only 9 games away. They'll have 9 games before the playoffs. They just got to win out. I think maybe looking at it, let's look at what Tampa has. I'm not going to count all these, but 3, 6, 9, like 15 games left in this month, and then 1 game in October on the 1st against the Blue Jays. So what do they have? 16 games left. I mean, you got just over 100 wins that you could hit if you're Tampa Bay. Shout out to all the people that I know and love in Florida. Love your mom and dad and other great church people down there. Tampa Bay, they almost won a World Series years ago. I don't think they've actually ever won it before, but they've definitely made it a couple times in their history. But we talk about the Braves. I think they'll be the first to hit 100 wins this season, but can they be the only team? That's a big question to ask. When you look at, of course, talking some baseball today, let me go right here. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, that's all we got for baseball today. Moving on, this is the Ballard Sports 360 show. We talk sports all the way around. We don't really have anything basketball wise. I'm sorry. I try to get into the NBA. I've tried to get back into it. It is kind of hard. I know with college football going on, like we try to make that a priority here on the channel. So, I mean, the NBA, I'm kind of over, like, not over the NBA. Like, I guess we've kind of moved past all the, like, just call it what it is. There's been some drama. But, at the same time, I think some of it's in the past and you got to let go and, just give it up. So, as far as the NBA goes, I haven't really followed much of it. I mean, I could pull up some headlines and we could see what's going on. But I know this is a college football community and we want to talk college football. We want to make our picks today, before Saturday's games. There's drama in the NBA apparently about Giannis and his future with the Milwaukee Bucks. There's James Harden uh, giving up with the Sixers, and there's just see, it's nothing. I'm just gonna be open and honest here. Can we do that? Can I be open and honest? It's nothing but drama in the NBA. You see it all the time. And I appreciate and I love the people that cover it. Like, it's a sport and it's basketball, and you do need a pro league. You do need people to cover it. I can't put up with it. I want college football. I want baseball. I want drama free in sports. It's nothing but drama when it comes to the NBA. I mean, just saying what it is. I mean, some of it's interesting. It is. But like, you have guys that just want the contracts and want the money, and I get the money part. Like, I don't blame them, but it's, I don't know. I'm getting off on a tangent. I probably don't need to get off on too much. Get back to baseball. Braves are trying to hit 100 wins in 2023. They hit 101 wins last year. Prior to that, they haven't had a 100 plus win season since actually 2003, when they went 101 and 61. So they have picked it up. They got off to a slow start to start the year. The Braves did, but they have picked it up big time. They are the best team in the league right now. It started out with the Rays. The Rays have kind of had some issues, but they're still at the top of the AL East. And you have all this, all these great teams out there. But it's the Braves or bust, it seems, for this year's World Series. And I'm not saying that out of bias. I'm not saying that out of favoritism. I'm not saying that in terms of, like, how do I want to put this? It just seems that way this year, doesn't it? I mean, who else is out there that's going to compete for the World Series in October? I mean, we talk about a month from now, we get into the World Series in the postseason. I guess you'll have the Rays, you'll have the Orioles from the AL. But you look at the National League, there's really not much competition. I mean, even the second best team, I mean, I guess you give it to the Dodgers, right? You give it to the Dodgers, who are 8 games behind the Braves. I still consider that a big gap. I want to double check the comments too and see who all is in here. Third and 8, Dominic. Wrestling Talk, my friend Chess Hall. I love you, buddy. Yes, do hit that thumbs up, share the stream, and let's keep growing Ballard Sports Media. So let's move on from baseball, because I do want to talk some college football with you guys. The Braves doing great. We'll talk baseball next week. I don't know. I guess I'll be live again next Friday for you guys. I plan on it. And if I can't go live, if I know I'm not going to go live on a Friday, it's hard to tell sometimes, because sometimes stuff does come up on the weekends for me. If I don't go live, I apologize in advance, and I'll make a YouTube post and a Twitter post and everything. Or not Twitter, I'm sorry. Twitter's dead. X post. So, but we will definitely let you guys know if we can't make the show. And next week, I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're always, throughout this college football season, though, we're going to make some ESPN picks, and we are going to talk college football. With that being said, we move past baseball. We put it on the back burner for right now. Let's do some pick'ems for college football, because we got some interesting games this week. You got Kansas State, Missouri. You got Georgia, South Carolina. Does Alabama bounce back from Texas? By the way, Tyler Buckner has officially been announced that he will get the start over Jalen Milroe against South Florida. That makes me curious about Ty Simpson. That also makes me curious. Okay, Jalen Milroe is going to get benched. They're going to make a quarterback switch to Tyler Buckner. You just know that Alabama's going to be a little bit ticked off after that Texas loss. They're going to take it out on USF. And of course, Tyler Buckner's probably going to do pretty good for the team. Is he going to take the reins of Alabama and lead this team to victory this season? It's a good question. I like the switch at quarterback. I love Jalen Milroe. I really do. I love his heart for God. I love his character, his passion for football, too. I mean, he grew up with it. He's from the state of Texas. But you just know that he's talented, but is he good enough for Alabama? And what we saw last week, the issues and struggles against Texas. I know Nick Saban says that one game doesn't define who you are as a player or a person, but man, you got to get it fixed. I considered and suggested you give him this start, and if he starts to fail, and even if he doesn't and he's still doing good, you give the other quarterbacks an opportunity. But again, it was announced that Tyler Buckner is going to be the starting quarterback this week at least against the USF Bulls for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are number 10 in the country, 1-1, and going on the road this week. This is a home and home with USF. Don't forget, Tidal Wave Talk premieres this afternoon. It'll be 2:30 tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern local time at Raymond James Stadium, home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 89 degrees weather-wise. Alabama's favored by 33, over under 61, all that good stuff. But Jalen Milroe going to be on the bench this week. Probably going to see some snaps, probably give him an opportunity. I'm sure it was a hard decision for Nick Saban to make, but at the same time, you have to do what's best for the team. And Tyler Buckner, if he seems like he's ready to go, I mean, he was a former 5-star recruit, went to Notre Dame, got some good experience there. He brings it to Tuscaloosa. I thought maybe I wanted Ty Simpson. But I honestly thought as soon as Tyler Buckner got here, I figured maybe he'd just go ahead and take the job. But obviously, that's not how Nick Saban works. But he is going to start against South Florida this week. What's going on, Mayhem Matthew? How you doing, buddy? I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop the link. I don't like to get people on this show too much, but we'll let you guys hang out for a bit today. And we're going to do some pick'ems for college football on ESPN.com. Let's go to NCAA football, home. Why do they not put it underneath NCAA football, like right there? College pick'em. Here we go. And we'll give everyone a second. If you guys want to hop on and share your thoughts on college football this weekend, maybe share your thoughts on the Braves, whatever you want to talk about in sports. It's a free-for-all Friday here. Again, the Braves hit 101 wins last year. They haven't had 100 plus wins since 2003, and they went 101-61. The Braves are trying to hit 100 wins 20 years later here in 2023, doing really well. Slugfest with Ronald Acuna. And with that, also, we bring on Mayhem Matthew. What's up, buddy?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Give me a second. Let me turn this up. I'm not sure if I can hear you. He's muted.
Can you hear me? Hello?
The site's not muted or anything, and I'm not sure if he's even talking, but I have the volume up.
Hello.
But let's go ahead. We'll see if we can get him back. All right. See if you guys can see this, because I know some of these settings on StreamYard, you got to pick the right one for. There we go. Let's do this one here. Let's do this. Or, I don't know. If I zoom in good enough. I like this setup. So this is what we got, folks. This is what we got. We are 16-4. See, I'm not even. I see you back there, Mayhem. I'm not even hearing the sound indicating that you hopped in the back.
Can you hear me now?
Something must be up with my computer here. Or let me check the audio. Got the microphone. Hold on. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Okay, so the audio is going through YouTube. Something's up with my computer. Tell you what, Mayhem, give me a call on my cell phone and we can talk about these games. I'll have to figure out my computer later and see what's going on. I'm trying to invest in a new one anyway. So just call my cell phone. You got my number. Okay, I think I can hear you now, Mayhem. I think we got you.
What's up, Ballard?
Not much, man. Good to have you on the show. And again, I guess some tech issues on my end because I don't know why the audio is not coming through. The site's not muted and everything, but it sounds like it's going through on YouTube. I guess that's what's important, but I can figure it out later. If you can see the screen, we're going to stick to what is 16-4 on the year. Ballard Sports 19 picks 2, 10 games to choose from. Or maybe it's 9, and then you got to pick a tiebreaker at the end where they give you the option of basically how many total points in a game. So this first one here, I want to get your thoughts on Missouri hosting Kansas State.
What's the I can't really see the picture, so what just let me know what it is.
It's Missouri and Kansas State.
Who do I think will win?
Yeah.
Kansas State easily.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. They're favored by 4 points. They got just over, just under a 70% chance to win the game. I think I'm going to take Kansas State too. I think they got a good quarterback in Will Howard. They got a good running back. I know they lost Deuce Vaughn to the draft, but this is a good offense for the Big 12. Both of these teams undefeated. Missouri could pull an upset and find some momentum, but I just don't see it.
Right. I don't see it either. I think Kansas State is much more talented than Missouri.
Right. So I'm going to go Kansas State too. And a reminder too, I'm clicking on who I think is going to win, but we might have some disagreements. LSU and Miss State.
I think LSU wins this game. This is the SEC opener for LSU. They got embarrassed week 1. I think LSU comes in with a fire in this game, and obviously LSU's more talented than Mississippi State, and we've seen this last year, but last year really don't matter. But I think LSU wins this game.
Yeah, me too. I think Jaden Daniels a really good quarterback, and who's their running back? They have, is it something like Emory or whatever? But Anyway, I know they have the talent there. They got great defense. They still got Harold Perkins, who I think is going to be a top pick in the draft. Maybe not at the very top, but he'll go pretty high. He leads a fierce defense. I think they're still a little upset about that Florida State loss. I think Brian Kelly kind of has a little bit of vengeance in him. They get into SEC play. I'll take the Tigers.
For sure.
Yeah. Minnesota and North Carolina. This could be an interesting game, actually.
Is it at North Carolina?
I think it's at UNC.
At UNC. Well, if this was at Minnesota, I'm picking Minnesota's. But since it's at North Carolina, I'm gonna go with North Carolina. But don't be surprised if Minnesota wins this game.
Right. You look at the teams Minnesota has beaten. They struggled with Nebraska. They only scored 25 against Eastern Michigan. Meanwhile, North Carolina is scoring 31 on South Carolina. And even though they struggled against App State, they still got the win with 40 points in double overtime. I like North Carolina to be very explosive, but there's a part of me that likes Minnesota's defense. I think it could keep Minnesota in this game for a little bit, but it is a offensive league today in college football, unless you're Georgia or somebody that does play a lot of defense. You got to be able to score some points, and I trust North Carolina to do that more so than Minnesota.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Virginia Tech and Rutgers. Interesting game here. Interesting.
I don't know too much about these two teams, but I'm going Virginia Tech here.
Give me a second. I got to get back to the pick'em screen. I mean, I'm sharing it, but I was still looking at Minnesota, North Carolina. I had to close that tab. As far as Virginia Tech and Rutgers goes, though, like while I'm talking about it, I think that Rutgers has improved in recent years. We know that. We also know that Virginia Tech has struggled. They let go of Justin Fuente a couple years ago. They got Brent Pry, who came over as a defensive guy from Penn State. I like the hire. I remember I did a video for Virginia Tech, but I don't remember exactly what I picked. I think I have a feeling though. I think Rutgers is a better team, at least for right now, and I think I'm going to have to go Rutgers.
All right.
Yeah. So, let me see. And the computer again. I just need a new computer for Christmas or something this year, but it is acting up. So, oh, it's back. Okay, I am gonna go Rutgers here. We'll try to be careful with this computer today and not move too fast. I think maybe that's what I'm doing. But Tennessee and Florida is up next. Who you got in this one?
All right, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta think through this, right? Well, Florida's not a great team. They're just not.
Right.
But their quarterback was not the reason why they lost to Utah. I think it was a lot to do with Florida's offensive line. I think it had something to do with, well, they only have one weapon at receiver, and that's Ricky Pearsall. They got, ETN in the backfield. I think their quarterback can be good if he had, well, I'm not great or anything like that, but just good, right?
Yeah.
Good enough to win the game. is what I'm saying. This is definitely an upset right here. But on Tennessee's side, their defense may have gotten a little bit better, but their offense has slightly taken a step back. And I know they're running vanilla offenses on these high school teams that they're playing. I get it. But this is going to be a real test for Florida and a real test for Tennessee. This definitely is a toss-up game because of the rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be safe and pick Tennessee in this game, but I really wouldn't be surprised if Florida won this game outright.
See, Florida's at home. We know the Swamp is a tough place to go and play. We know that Florida has struggled in recent years. We know that, as you call him, Billy Nappy Hair, uh, he he doesn't seem like he's that coach. But this could be a statement game that he can say, "Look, I can turn it around." They beat something last week called a McNeese State, 49-7, and I give them credit for that. But you go back to that Utah game week 1, they did a couple things right, but they didn't do enough right. And I don't even want, like, they beat a Utah team without Cameron Rising. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there were some moments in that game, like they probably should have beat Utah on the road. But again, at the same time, what if that backup quarterback really had control of that offense a little bit to where he could have won the game for him? I don't know. Like I could see an upset, but I don't know. This is tough to pick. I mean, it's almost it's like a game you don't want to touch, but at the same time, I want to make all the picks in the pick 'em. So I have to pick somebody. There's something in my gut saying to go with Florida. What do you think?
I mean, see that my gut was saying Florida, but I can't be like stupid because I do.
Yeah, at least from
But
what we've seen so far.
then again, Tennessee doesn't look great, but then you know, it's just who's going to come out the gate faster. I think. I mean, Billy Napier had the chance all in the world last year to beat Tennessee, and that was at Neyland Stadium. But this year, you go to the Swamp. This could be a revenge game for him. It's definitely. I'm pretty sure a lot of recruits are going to be there. This is definitely a statement game for Billy Napier, especially if he wants to be still in the top. I don't know where he ranks in the rankings right now in recruiting, but he last time I checked, he was pretty high up there, right?
He is recruiting pretty well, and that's something Dan Mullen wasn't able to do with Florida.
So if he wins this game, then that kind of he might keep some of these 4 and 5 star recruits that he's got. But if he loses, I don't know. It's going to be a great game. I'm still picking Tennessee just because that is the safe pick here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter.
I'm gonna. Oh, who have I picked so far? I picked North Carolina and I picked Rutgers. I picked LSU. I picked Kansas State. I've made some really good picks so far. I gotta make a bold move at some point. This is in the Swamp. Florida probably has some motivation. They probably have learned from that Utah loss. But then you also got Tennessee, who's got one of the better returning quarterbacks in Joe Milton in the SEC. But I'm feeling kind of risky though. I'm going to go Florida with an upset.
All right, that's great. I was going to ask you, do you really think Joe Milton's better? I mean, he was 1 for 8 to start the last game versus a thing called Austin Pay.
That is true. And if they don't work out with Joe Milton, don't they still have that 5-star in Nico Amaliva?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you.
I'm gonna leave you. He gonna leave you soon. Like if y'all don't figure it out, I don't know. I'm gonna go Florida with this game though, but I'm probably gonna eat my words. I'll have to watch this one and pull for Florida big time.
Yeah, I can't pull for Florida,
I
but
know.
yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be watching that game for sure.
How about the backyard brawl with Pitt and West Virginia? How you feeling about that one? I think both teams have looked okay so far. Each got a loss. They meet on the field this Saturday. Uh I've liked West Virginia this year. A lot of people like West Virginia, but doesn't Pitt? Who do they have at quarterback this year? Is it still? Well, Keaton Slovis transferred to BYU, so or he went somewhere. Was it BYU? I don't
Yeah,
know.
he went by you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even know who Pitt has this year at. Oh, Jerkovic, and then you have some guy named who is this? Garrett Green for West Virginia. You look at the stats. Um, Pretty much, West Virginia beats them in offense, but the defense. I'll say this: I think that they're sleeping on West Virginia. That rush defense has looked pretty good. Um, yes, they lost to Penn State in that first week, but a lot of people are high on Penn State to do big things this year. They played Duquesne last week. Yes, they gave up 17 points, and maybe to a team like that, you probably don't want to see 17 points on the scoreboard, but 56 points in the win column, that's pretty good. I, but I don't know. First off, let me ask you this: overall, as a program, who do you trust between Pitt and West Virginia
Right now,
right now?
Pittsburgh for sure.
I agree.
It was just a few years ago they were in the ACC championship, and I understand that was a completely different team. I understand that, but still got the same head coach. I'm pretty sure isn't it Pat Narduzzi?
Yeah. And then it's
So,
Neil Brown at West Virginia who has been struggling to keep up.
so if right now, I'm not saying that I'm always going to pick Pitt, but right now, I mean, I trust Pitt more because I think Neil Brown probably will before the end of the season get fired. So right now, I'm thinking Pitt's going to win this game.
I think Pitt's going to win too. We might disagree on this next one, but I'm going to take Pitt in the backyard brawl this year. Syracuse 2-0, Purdue 1-1. Syracuse 73% of people have picked them in this game. What's your thoughts?
Well, Purdue loses their head coach, and I don't know how I feel about Purdue. Did Purdue lose their quarterback from last year?
O'Connell, I think he got drafted somewhere.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know too much about Purdue, but Syracuse, it seems like Syracuse always starts out, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, and then they start losing a handful of games. But early on in the season, if I put my money where my mouth is, I'm going with Syracuse in this one because of their patterns that they have, they normally start losing games towards the back half of the season. So I'm going with Syracuse.
Yeah, I don't know. This is on NBC, by the way. If you guys want to watch it, 7:30 game. Syracuse has a 75% chance, just under that, to win. You have Oh, I forgot about him. Hudson Card is the quarterback for Purdue. You remember him? I know that name, but I'm trying to remember. Was he at like Houston or something?
I'm pretty sure it was a Texas team.
Hudson Card.
Wasn't he Texas's quarterback?
Yes, that's it. Because remember, they had Quinn Ewers. He gets hurt against Alabama last year. Hudson Card actually came in that game, and I don't know. He didn't look too good. I know it was close, but anyway, I mean, Hudson Card, I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, on the year, he's like 40 of 64 for 502 yards and 2 touchdowns. Total yardage, it's not even close. Syracuse has the more explosive offense. I think they want to make a statement this year. This is their first true test, though. They do have to go on the road. I want to shout out Michael Hogg, who is a big-time Boilermaker fan. Purdue, they struggled against Virginia Tech last week, only won by 7, but they lost to Fresno State. Now, I know Fresno State's a good team, but if you're in the Power 5, you don't need to lose games like that. I don't trust Purdue right now. I'm going to go with the Qs.
Yeah, I would too.
Next game up, we got 2 Texas teams, TCU and Houston. Big 12 matchup. Houston in their first year in the Big 12. What's your thoughts?
I think TCU, look, I understand Colorado had a good win over TCU. I get it. I just don't think TCU is as good as they were last year. And even last year, they had last-second wins. I don't think their Cinderella season continues. I think they underachieved this year. I really do. I think they're going to lose probably. I think TCU could go 6-6, 7-5, or probably even miss a bowl game for all that matters. But I'm gonna go with Houston here. I don't like TCU. I don't have enough confidence in TCU. Their quarterback to me is not that great. I watched him. He had a couple interceptions in the Colorado game. I just can't trust TCU. I'm going with Houston.
I can't trust them either, man. But at the same time, I don't think they're going to go on like a big losing streak. Like they got to pick some games up somewhere. Of course, it's just one of those. The game, and considering that Houston 5, you got 4 teams in the Big 12 right now. 4 new teams at least. Houston being one of them. Every one of those teams, UCF, Houston, BYU, and who is it? Cincinnati, they want to make some statements. TCU is heavily favored in this game with a 63% chance. They're favored by 7.5. Chandler Morris has 4 touchdowns on the year. The thing about TCU, though, their run defense so far has looked okay, but that's because of who they played last week. And gosh, the last time they played a good enough team, which College Game Day is going to be in Boulder, Colorado for Colorado State. I don't know why, but they played Colorado and they lost. They just choke it away. And truly, when you look at it, they probably have one of the worst defenses in the Power 5, TCU does. I know Georgia, I understand they were great last year, but 60 points in a championship game? Come on, man. Give me a break. I think I'm going to call an upset here. I'm going to go with Houston.
Yeah, Houston. TCU also loses like 8 people to the NFL draft, which was the 3rd most by any college last year. Obviously, Georgia and Alabama were tied at 10, and then I think TCU came in 3rd with 8. So, and then they lose a lot to the transfer portal. I understand they get some from the transfer portal, but TCU is just not going to be that great this year.
Yeah, we don't really have to look much into this game. I mean, it's cool to see in-state teams go head-to-head, but I know you're pretty hyped up about Colorado a little bit, but I don't even know where you stand with Colorado as far as, like, are you waiting for them to fall for a I told you so, or are you riding the Deion train?
Well, I said that they were going. Well, I remember the last conversation we had about Deion. You said that they was only going to win 1 game. Well, I told you that they would win more than 1 game.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then, so I said my prediction was 4-8. I think they do win more than 4 games, but they don't go bowling. I think 5-7 is what they're probably going to go this year. But I do like Colorado in this game though, because the Rams are just not that. I mean,
they're awful. I mean, just call what it is. They're awful. I mean, I'm going to take Colorado too. I think you could make a point about Colorado. The only thing I'll say though, I think they can make a bowl game. I think they could hit 6 or 7 wins. Now they're going to get to a point in the season where they're going to get to the party, but no one's going to want to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be right there in the corner with nobody to talk to, and they're just going to be some sore losers. They are going to lose some games this year. I don't think it's Colorado State, though.
Right. I mean, Colorado, to me, is going to lose to Oregon, Southern Cal, even a team in Washington State. I mean, they upset Wisconsin, I believe last week it was.
Yeah, that's Luke Fickell, too.
Washington State looks pretty good. They're going to lose them games. And they're not beating the Washingtons, the Oregons, the Southern Cals, the UCLAs of the world, right? They're not beating them.
Right.
And they'll beat the Stanfords. They'll beat the Colorado States. They'll beat the Arizona States and the Arizonas of the world, right? But it's not 100% that they beat all them teams either. So even if they lose, if they get upset on, like, let's just say Arizona State beats them, right?
Right.
That's 5-7 to me. So that's why, I mean, they could go bowling. You're right, but I think 5-7 is that would be a tremendous year for the Colorado Buffs.
You mentioned Arizona State. That's our last game to pick before we get to the how many total points question. Fresno State looking pretty good. They got Purdue last week, I think. So they're 2-0. Arizona State 1-1. Does Fresno State continue a pretty good win streak here, and are they on a roll?
I think you said they beat Purdue last week.
No, the first week. I'm sorry. They last week. Here's the thing: is they're winning close games. So what they did was they went on the road and got Purdue 39-35, and then Eastern Washington last week 34-31 in double OT.
Yeah, I don't think Fresno State will get it done with Arizona State. I didn't Dillingham, the OC from Oregon, go to Arizona State?
I think he did. That sounds about right.
Yeah, Dillingham. I think, I'm not saying that he's going to turn the program around, but he's definitely going to do better than the last guy. I think Arizona State wins this game.
Do you remember who Arizona State's quarterback is? You want help?
Yeah.
Jaden Rashada.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Dude, here's his stats. It's actually pretty good. 34 of 60. This is in total on the year. 34 of 60, 403 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. He's a 5-star recruit. Remember, he almost went to Florida, but there was all that NIL stuff. So, I expect him to do some big things. I think Arizona State could do some big things. I like Fresno State this year, too. That's why this game is a little tough.
Right.
Jaden Rashada. I don't know if I want to pick against that kid.
Yeah, I like Arizona State here.
I'm going to go Arizona State, too. I'm feeling pretty lucky. All right. The final question. I'm going to let you pick this one and we'll type it in. How many total points, like come up with a final score and do the math, in Tennessee and Florida?
Okay, hold on. If you have one before me, you can go ahead because I need to think about this.
Well, I want to use yours, but I'm thinking Tennessee 41, Florida 20. I mean, it could be worse than that, but I don't. I mean,
Hold on. I'm gonna go 30.
do 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 do
30
do.
to 31-24.
Whoa, that close?
Yeah.
I know it's in the swamp, but man, that's a close game for Tennessee against Florida. 31-24. So we did that math. That'll be 55 points.
16. Or, yeah, 55. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So let's review our picks here. I put in what I'm picking. Again, I'm 16-4 on the year. 99.4%, 160 points. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm on a streak. Kansas State over Missouri. LSU over Mississippi State. North Carolina over Minnesota. Rutgers over Tech, Virginia Tech. Florida over Tennessee. I called an upset. You disagree with that. I think that's probably the first one we disagreed on. The backyard brawl, I chose Pitt. I chose Syracuse over Purdue. I chose Houston to give it to TCU and pull an upset this weekend. We both, I think we agree on Colorado. And then Arizona State over Fresno State.
Right.
And
we only disagreed on 2.
Yeah, that was the Florida Tennessee game, and then which was the other one?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
No. Sorry. I can't remember, but I remember we disagreed on one of them.
Was it the Purdue one or?
Yeah, Purdue.
You're going with Purdue, not Syracuse?
No, I'm not going with Purdue.
Or was it Fresno State? Did you pick Fresno State over Arizona State?
No.
Okay. I don't know what we disagreed on then, but other than the Florida game. Probably Tech or Rutgers or Minnesota, North Carolina. I don't.
It was Minnesota. It was the Rutgers versus Virginia Tech. I picked Virginia Tech.
Okay. Well, I took Rutgers. They're picked like 75%. 2-0, minus 315 on the money line. This will be a good weekend for some picks. I'm probably not going to get them all. We have made all 10, and we also I picked or whatever. I guess we kind of agreed on this, like maybe 55 points total with Tennessee and Florida. So, but those were good picks. And do you have anything else for the good people of Ballard Sports Media? What are you doing on your channel this weekend for college football?
I'm streaming the Georgia Carolina game. That's definitely a must. And I can't wait because honestly, this is going to be my first Georgia stream that I'm doing, and then I'll be on the post-game college Voice of College Football, and so that's what I'll be doing, and I'll be making the videos later on today. On the Georgia South Carolina preview, so hopefully we can get that out.
That's awesome, man. And don't forget, here at Ballard Sports Media, Tidal Wave Talk this afternoon, our preview and prediction for Alabama and USF as the Tide go to Tampa, Florida, their first road test of the season. I will say I do have Alabama winning. I'm sure everybody probably does, unless you're feeling confident in Florida. South Florida, that is. And I don't know. What's your thoughts about Alabama, man? They recently named Tyler Buckner our starter this week. What do you think about that move?
Is that official?
It's official. It was announced on social media this morning. The only thing is we haven't heard it from the lips of Saban, but all the insiders are saying that's what they're hearing from him.
Okay, because I know I've seen Pat McAfee. Every Thursday Saban's going to be on Pat McAfee show, by the way.
Right.
And I know Saban said, whenever things go wrong in a game, they blame everything on the quarterback, and whenever everything goes right in a game, they give praises to everything to the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was wondering, like, if it was official, because I didn't, the way that he was talking, he was like, you need to cut some slack on, you need to cut some slack on Jalen Milroe, pretty much, what I got from it, right?
Yeah.
So to bench him would be kind of surprising to me. But if it's official, then I think I just need to see Tyler Buckner play. I think a lot of Jalen Milroe's flaws has to do. I mean, he's not. They're trying to make him. I mean, he's not. They're trying to make him into some dookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's not elite, but he's not dookie. I mean,
here's what I think is that
he's above average quarterback. But
yeah.
Here's the thing. He had 2 touchdowns that were called back for, I think, holding and an offensive lineman downfield, ineligible receiver downfield, right?
Yeah.
That's 2 touchdowns. If y'all get them 2 touchdowns, does Texas even win the game? And also, you had in the game 10 penalties, and then also in the game, so basically what I'm saying is you had a lot of drive stoppers, right?
Yeah.
You had some 3 and outs there. You couldn't really get the ball moving downfield on Texas. And credit to Texas, they had a pretty good defense too. They do have a pretty good defense, but I'm going to say this about Jalen Milroe. I think he's above average quarterback. I don't think he's elite or some awesome quarterback. But remember that was only his 3rd game ever starting. If Carson, I'm a Georgia fan, so if Carson Beck looks not that great against South Carolina tomorrow, I'm not going to give him all the grief in the world. Now, if he outright loses the game for us, then yeah, I will, because we should be beating South Carolina. We're 27-point favorite in the game. So, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't be criticizing Carson Beck if he made a little bit of mistakes, tomorrow, because he's only started a few games, just like Jalen Milroe, right?
Right.
So I really haven't seen enough sample size to pretty much say, okay, Jalen Milroe is garbage. He's definitely not no Bryce Young. I can see that. I have eyeballs, but got to give him credit where credit is due. He had some pretty passes downfield, and he can use his legs. The only thing that I would say about Jalen Milroe is he doesn't read defenses that well. As soon as he makes his first read downfield, he wants to tuck the ball and run it, right?
Of course.
That's pretty much the only thing I can say badly about Jalen Milroe. And, because you gave up, 5 sacks last, versus Texas. Like I said, I give credit to Texas. They have a good defensive line. Get back there, but we've heard all season about this great offensive line Alabama's had. They average 350 pounds on the line, right?
Yeah.
They were going to play murder ball and all that stuff. But I mean, you got to think about all facets of the game. I don't think Jalen Milroe was at fault completely. I don't think he's the real reason why y'all completely lost that game.
No, absolutely not. I mean, think about the receivers, man. I mean, there were obviously some moments in that game where Jalen Milroe was in the pocket. He was trying to read the defense, pick them apart. Now, the interceptions, maybe he could have made better reads, but think about the receivers, man. They got to get open. They got to get off the coverage, and they just got to get separation. That's something that has been an issue for Alabama these past couple years, and it's just that um, you can't play. It's not. Nick Saban says this all the time. One game does not define a player. Number one, but also it's a team effort. If the team loses, they all have lost, and it's not on one player.
Right.
So,
like, I mean, if Coach Saban is benching Milroe for Buckner, y'all, this is a good start to Buckner's career at Alabama because it's versus South Florida. Y'all going to win by 20 points, 30 points. There's no question about that. Y'all do have to go on the road, but that's not really a harsh road environment, right? It's South Florida.
right.
So, and I'm not to knock South Florida, but come on. I mean, Alabama's going to win by 20 or 30 points. I mean, come on now. But, yeah, this will be a great start, for Tyler Buckner to see if he can keep this job, And Milroe reminds me a lot, and this is going to sound crazy, but basically the best way I can explain Milroe is he reminds me of a early onset Jalen Hurts.
I agree, dude. Same name, yes, which is kind of cool. But yes, it's Jalen Hurts 2.0 with Jalen Milroe. It's like it's not that he can't throw. He just has a hard time as a passer reading the defenses, and he always wants to tuck in and run. And that if you want to run as a quarterback, I said this last week. I said if you want to run as a quarterback, like that's fine. Tuck in and run, pick up the yardage, help the team, move the ball downfield. But that cannot be your only option. You have to throw the ball as a quarterback, and you have to be open to finding receivers and reading defenses. You got to play the game right.
Yeah, and one thing that I will say, I think Tommy Rees, if Milroe is if Milroe's, I don't know if he's going to keep his job now that he got benched for this game, but if he becomes a starter again, right, in the future, Tommy Rees needs to call plays in Jalen Milroe's strong suit, right?
Yeah.
Maybe do design quarterback runs or y'all want to run the ball, y'all want to play that murder ball type thing. Why don't run something kind of like I'm not saying run the option, but I'm just saying like do a little wildcat option plays or stuff like that quarterbacks can make decisions whether to hand the ball off or run it.
I think the decision making last week kind of killed us, and I think that what you need to do in this game against South Florida, I don't think it's going to be 80-yard bombs all day long. I do think that USF is going to give them a little bit of crap and give them some coverages and everything. I say on like those 3rd and 1, or if you want to try to keep the drive alive on a 4th and 1 or something, that's where you let Milroe take off running to pick up some yardage. But if you need to throw the deep ball, man, if Tyler Buckner is the guy for that, don't put Jalen Milroe in that position. I'm not saying that he can't do it, but I really think, man, if the guy struggles with it, and he's not getting better, if you keep him out there, you're just jeopardizing his football career.
Right. But that's pretty much all I have for you today, Ballard. I appreciate you letting me come on.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy. We're going to get out of here. Mayhem Matthew, everybody. Calling via the phone because I guess I'm having some audio issues. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know what it is, but I apologize for that. I hope you were able to hear all of the show. It seemed like the audio was at least going through. Braves to 100 wins. Going to get it soon. upsets, picks in week 3. And then Tyler Buckner is going to be the starter on Saturday for Alabama against South Florida on the road. First start since he was at Notre Dame. He started a little bit at Notre Dame. Then he got benched. I think for Drew Pine was the quarterback they had. I know they got Sam Hartman now, but they had a guy named Drew Pine last year at Notre Dame that was kind of the go-to guy. So we'll see what he can do. I'm excited. Former 5-star recruit, got the arm, got the legs. Does he have the coaching? I think so. I love y'all. We'll get out of here. Peace. Roll Tide.